Here's how to create those charming coastal rake water effects without dealing with buffers. Instead of a solid fill for our water feature, choose hatched fill, which looks like this. Then in the structure, we'll add two effects. The first effect is offset, and the second effect is the delicious donut effect. The offset we'll set to 0, and we'll set its quality to accurate. Same thing for the donut, we'll make it round and quality for accurate, and we'll give it a distance of whatever we want, let's say 5 points. And we'll hit apply. Now we're talking. Back in the structure, we can just duplicate this symbol layer and give it a negative offset of the same as the donut and make its line thinner. Then we just keep adding symbol layers, snugging in the offset as many times as we want. And get this, it re-renders to the same point dimensions instead of clumsy buffers. Okay, let's do part 2. Clearly, if we're going for a vintage map effect, this digital map is too crisp and clean and perfect. We need to introduce some texture. So I'm going to add data from Living Atlas, and I'll do a search for paper texture. I've made a bunch of paper textures available to anybody as tile layers that you can drop over any map. I'm going to add a few of these. I'll do parchment to get it nice and orange and gritty. I'll do crinkled because it's fun. And then the big money maker is the folded paper texture. And I'm going to add all of these. There's parchment, there's folded, and there's crinkled. Isn't that fun? Immediately we get something that looks a lot more like a map. Okay, so we lose a little bit of the vibrancy of our background tan color. We can pull that back in. I'm gonna drag these two above my data layer, and I'm gonna give them a blend mode of let's do luminosity, so we don't lose the vibrancy of the color. This will just affect the tone instead of wash it out. Luminosity. See that? It really helps. Okay, now oceans. Let's play with blend modes for these cool Leonardo line water rakes that we've done. They kind of remind me of Leonardo da Vinci's crosshatch sketching. You know what? Speaking of crosshatch sketching, let's open this up and actually give it a crosshatch. So in the 1-minute demo, we just went in the same direction, 45 degrees for all of them. I'm going to create a new copy of this symbol layer, topmost one, and I'm going to go down to the pattern, and instead of 45, I'm going to give it a negative 45, and see the effect there? And then for the offset, I'll just kind of nudge it over a little bit, and we'll hit apply and see what we get. There we go. That's the sort of cross-hatching that I would do. Now let's give this a blend mode so it sinks into the paper a little bit more instead of just riding too crisply on top of it. I'll choose overlay. That's a little bit too faint for me. Let's try multiply. Multiply will darken the underlying color based on the tone of this layer. That's kind of cool. I feel like something in between the two would be better though. So I'm going to do both of them. I'll set this one's transparency to 50% or so and duplicate it by holding the Control key and dragging down to make a copy. And for this topmost one, let's go back to overlay. There we go. Now it looks like we've got a map that's using cool old oak ink on folded parchment. And I like it. Thanks for watching.